Hey everybody, if you've ever had to deal with pesky fruit flies, this video is for you. Today I'm going to show you how to make a super simple fruit fly trap. These work great for me. Now, I had some bananas that I was ripening up so I could make some banana bread, and we've been bringing in vegetables from the garden. Now the garden harvest season has started, and inevitably you always end up with those fruit flies that show up out of nowhere and are just pests in the kitchen. No matter how much washing down of counters and taking care of everything right away that you do, they seem to find your house anyway. So today we're going to use just a few simple items you probably have hanging around the house to get rid of those fruit flies, and it's not toxic, it's super simple to use, and let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you what we're going to be using today. Now, the first thing I'm going to use is an old cat food can. If you've seen our videos, you know we use these for a lot of our DIY things. We used these in our ant traps that I'll make sure that I leave a link to in the description. We're going to be using a little bit of plastic wrap, an elastic, something sharp and pointy. I've got a paring knife. We're going to use some dish detergent and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So let's start putting these together to make our trap. As I said, I'm using a cat food can, and the reason I'm using a cat food can is because it's disposable. Now you can use any kind of a little container, you can use a bowl, you can use a little glass dish, you can use a tuna can, a cat food can. Because I'm catching bugs in this, I want to be able to just dump it when I'm done and put it in recycling and have it go away. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding some apple cider vinegar. You don't have to measure it. I'm just going to be pouring in enough to cover the bottom of my can. So probably in this can, a couple tablespoons maybe. And that's the first thing. And we're using the apple cider vinegar because the smell of the apple cider vinegar is what is going to draw our fruit flies to our trap. So now the next thing we're going to do is move on to our dish soap. Now I'm using Dawn. You can use anything, it doesn't matter. And basically all I'm going to do is put just a little bit in the can, and then I'm just going to give that a quick little stir. And the reason we're adding the dish soap is that is going to create a film on the top of the apple cider vinegar, and that is going to create a surface tension that is going to kind of hold the fruit flies where they are. So once we have that mixed in, the next step is going to be a piece of plastic wrap. Now I pre-pulled this off the roll because you don't want to see me try to pull plastic wrap off a roll. We're just going to put it over the top of the can. We're going to take our elastic. We're going to put it over the top of the plastic wrap. Make sure it's pulled nice and tight. Then we're going to take, I'm using my knife, our sharp pointy object. And we're just going to stab some holes into the plastic wrap over the top. And those holes are going to be what the fruit flies are going to crawl through to get into the can. Super simple, super easy. And then all I'm going to do is put this in an area where I have seen the fruit flies hanging around. Now I like this because there's no chemicals, there's not anything toxic. The worst thing is the dish soap, which isn't going to really hurt anybody. So even if my cat were to knock this over and make a mess with it, it's not going to damage anything. Nobody's going to get sick from it. And I'm going to put this out, and very quickly you start to see the fruit flies around the top of the can. You see them crawling across, and you'll see them start to collect. Now I've got one of these that I put out about a week ago. So let me grab that and I'll show you what the results were. This trap was made exactly the same as the trap that I just showed you. So let me get the cover off this. It's been by my sink for about a week. I'm just going to pop the cover off, and you can see all the fruit flies that are inside this can. And there's one kind of floating on the top. The rest have kind of sunk to the bottom. This has pretty much taken care of the fruit fly problem that I have. I have a hard time saying those two words together. But because I know that we're going to be bringing in a lot more fruits and vegetables, I want to have a couple more of these ready just in case. So now that I've caught all these little fruit flies, I'm going to take this, I'm going to dump it, I'm going to rinse it out, and I may even reuse this can to make another one, just so that I can make sure that we are fruit fly free in our house with all the vegetables and fruits that we're going to be bringing in during our harvest season. And when I'm all done with it, I can rinse it out, put it in recycling, and it can go on from there. So I hope this little trick helps and helps you keep those pesky little fruit flies out of your house. And if you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up. If you have traps that you've used that work really well, please make sure you leave a comment to let us and the rest of the community know, because that's what those comments are for, is to help everybody out. And until next time, everybody, take care.